Hi guys. So I wanted to come on because we need to talk about November's Market Day videos. So we're tackling the whole month of November, which is 3 separate markets. The first one is a 2-dayer, the second one is a 3-dayer, and then the last one was a 1-dayer. It was, I'll start with, it was a really good month. 2 of them were inside, the last one was outside, and we're almost done with a year, guys. Almost. So if you're new here, hi, welcome in. I'm Kat with Kat's Crafty Crochet Corner. I know that it's a mouthful. Here we talk about, market prep, patterns that I use on a regular basis, market day videos, breakdown, setup, teardown, all that. I try to add a couple tutorials in here and there. It's just been trying to get through. So yeah, we talk about all kinds of different things here. I am a mom of 2 kids. I have 4 cats, 2 snakes, mice to feed them, and a frog. I have 2 little boys who very much, country living. We got all kinds of stuff going on. Yeah, so if you're new, thanks for coming in. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if, crochet content is what you're here for. I give you all the details, including the numbers and the patterns and all that. So let's get right into it.
We're really far down here.
Hi.
This is my booth today. It is 11:26, an hour and a half in finally, and I'm finally done. Look at all the stuff. I got like 2 hours of sleep last night, but we got it. Now, let's hope for a good day. This is only one room. That room is like 4 times this size, and then the hallway out there is totally full. So let's figure out how today's gonna go. Finishing projects. Good day.
You know, you're fine.
Those are so cute.
Showing you an after before I forget. Of course, there's bags everywhere. Didn't sell too many hats and stuff. 3 Christmas trees are in that bucket. Sold some jellyfish and chickens. These turtles, mystery boxes, gnome hanging towels, octos, axolotls, mushrooms, Martha chickens, kitties, a triceratops, some stegosaurus, a couple leggy froggies, a couple mallards, a couple brontos, a couple T-Rexes, 1 dragon, and 1 jumbo giraffe. Sold a kid's purse. And it's been a decent day. I mean, sales were down from last year by about $100. I'm pretty sure that my expenses were up this year by about $50 or $100. I don't know. So I'm sad that my sales were down this year, but what can you do? Check in later. Now that I'm a hot, sweaty mess, I think I'm leaving with more stuff than I came with.
The first event was at the Bayfront Convention Center in Erie, Pennsylvania, which is, I live in northwestern PA. It was the Craft and Gift Festival. It happens every year. It is a paid entry event. Last year they had record numbers and had like 3,500 people through the door. I did bring my 7-year-old son with me this time. I figured it would be cool for the 2 of us to go do something together, stay in a hotel room, you know, order dinner, stuff like that. Just some one-on-one time. His ADHD got the better of him and me. It was very stressful. So this was November 9th and 10th. 10 to 6 on the 9th and 11 to 4 on the 10th. I believe that's Saturday and Sunday. Now, the vendor fee for this event is $250, which is okay. It's high. I think that for the following years, I will not be getting a hotel room, which means that I will be spending less money on food, less money on the room, to get a higher return, because last year sales were down compared to the year before. Yeah, that's not helpful. But let's go ahead and get to it. So I started off by selling 8 tiny turtles And I am going to put the pictures and stuff over here. So generally, like, I will show you a picture of what it was that I sold, when I make it, what they look like, and then I'll put the name of the creator down below. I sell these for $10 a piece. I sold 13 tiny chickens for $10 a piece again. I sold 2 mini jellyfish for $12 a piece. I sold a Christmas tree for $15. I sold 1 mini bee, which is my own pattern, for $10. I sold 2 dish scrubbies, which are my friend Karen's creations. I sold 3 medium octos for $15 a piece. I sold 2 mushy boys, they're mini mushy boys, for $13 a piece. I sold 1 triceratops for $15. I sold 2 leggy froggies for $15. I sold 2 mini ducks. So these are, the pattern initially makes for a penguin, but we alter them to look like ducks, and they sell like crazy. I sold 2 big ducks for $25 a piece. Yeah. I sold 2 T-Rexes for $15 a piece. I sold 7 mini loaf cats for $15 a piece. I got a request for a giraffe in standard colors right before the market. I made him and I sold him for $65. It was a good size. I sold 1 dragon from my friend Maria. We were doing a, not a raffle, a fundraiser for another crochet friend. Sold it for $30. Sold 3 axolotls for $20 each. Sold 1 adult ear warmer for $10. Sold 1 kids ear warmer for $8. Sold 1 messy bun hat for $20. 2 mystery boxes for $15 each. 2 brontosauruses for $20 each. 1 hanging flower towel for $8. A fur pom-pom, like for the tops of your hats, for $2. 1 gnome towel set, so 2 gnome towels for $18 for the pair. 1 bunny bag for $18. And 2 Martha chickens, which is my own pattern on Instagram, for free, for $15 a piece. So I do have it broken down. On day 1, I sold 37 items for a total of $538. For day 2, I sold 28 items for a total of $348. So compared to the year before, day 1 was down in sales and day 2 was up in sales. But overall, the event was down from the previous year. I sold 65 total items across the 2 days for a total of $886 in sales. I did get $15.63 in tips, which is nice. If you have Square, I highly encourage you to turn on the tip screen. You never know when somebody is feeling generous, and who am I to tell them they're not allowed to be, I guess. It's not asking for anything outright. It's, you know, if they feel like it, they can say no. So I had a total gross of $901.63. Then my vendor fee was $250. I spent $71 in food between the 2 days. Granted, that was for me and my child, and for staying in a room up there. Then I spent $104 on the hotel room, and I had $25.45 in Square fees. So a total group of fees of $450.45. So my profit was $451.18. That's a really high split. You know, that's essentially 50% fees, 50% profit, which is exactly why I'm saying that next year I do not believe that I'm going to get a room up there. So that way I won't have to spend the $104 and I won't have such high food costs. The year before it was not quite so high. I did get a room, but I think that the cost was lower. I went for a cheaper motel and it was very sketchy, honestly. And the food costs were lower, and I had higher sales, so it made up for it. The year before I had $1,000 in sales. So about $120 less this past year. So when I break it down, I had a total of $464 in card sales and $422 in cash. And I had to set aside $27.84 in tax. Granted, that's tax on card sales. We're not going to get into that. Don't rat me out. Then my average sale comes out to about $13.63, which is why I say that my best sellers are the $10 and $15 items. Then if you break down the total hours of the event, you know, I believe this is drive time there, setup, duration of the event for day one, drive time to the hotel, drive time from the hotel, event, tear down, drive home. So 21 hours of work, and it breaks down to $42.19 an hour. Excuse me. And that should also, I'm pretty sure that that is based off of the $886 in sales, not on the profit. So it's actually probably half of that. I don't know. I changed how I was doing things with calculating my hours and my hourly wage this year so that it's a bit more realistic of, you know, the hours that I'm working. You know, I personally feel like I should get paid for the time it takes me to travel to these events. And I should also be recouping my gas. Like, you know, I wouldn't need to spend the gas if I wasn't doing the event. It causes wear and tear on my vehicle. And if you were working like a delivery job, you know, you can claim your mileage on your vehicle at the end of the year on your taxes, just like I do. And you're getting paid usually an hourly wage or something, for the time that you're doing the deliveries. So at least depending on the job. I know they're all different. But that is the first event. That is the Erie Crafts and Gift Festival in Pennsylvania, northwestern Pennsylvania. I like this event. It gets me out of town. It gets me away for a weekend. Next year I will be cutting fees just to make it a little more worth it. Hopefully wherever they place me next year makes a difference as well, because the year before they had me set up right in front of the doors. And then they moved me last year, so that they ended up putting me kind of behind a wall. So like I couldn't be seen, and it just, yeah, it wasn't great. So let's go ahead and we're going to get into the next one. So we're going to cut it here, and you're going to see, you know, all the clips of the next event, and then I will come back for the breakdown after that.
So I'm gonna go ahead and walk around the room because we're done for the day at 6 o'clock. So I'm gonna turn you around and show you what we have going on. Here's my booth. I want to finish walking around before I leave. I am here for day 3. Look at my cute new hook bag. I met this vendor last week at the Bayfront Convention Center, and I told her that if she had any cat bags, I would for sure buy them. So she brought 3 of them, and I just found her yesterday. So I bought it, and I'm so excited. We just opened for the day, so they were lined up at the door. They are coming in. But yesterday I did this cute little Raven Jayco strawberry cow. Friday I did these 3 skunks. Yesterday I did that rainbow octo with my scraps. Last night I did Michaela's 2 hedgehogs. That's a free pattern on YouTube. And then I added 2 little jellyfish also. So today I'm going to make 1 more hedgehog and probably another cow. I will check in later. Say goodbye to Naruto because he just sold to a vendor. Everybody's tearing down. We're all done. Starting kind of look a little picked over. So let's see. Here's what we got going on. There. Put that back there. We got axolotls. Gosh, I need to restock on some loaf cats. Because my goodness. This is just not that many. I did sell some mystery boxes. I need to bring more of those. I need more bees. I sold 2 of the skunks. Put that here. Here, we'll put all the triceratops over here. Here, this is what we can do. Okay, so these are all the chickens we have left, the triceratops we have left. I have a lot of turtles left, ironically. Mallards and frogs. My octos. Look at this cute little scrappy octo I did yesterday. Then my mushy boys. I didn't sell too many, so I have a lot of those left. We do have some dragons left. We did sell one of the big ones. Sold some jellyfish, a couple Martha chickens. I did 3 hedgehogs. I have 1 possum left, just 1. Like, holy crap. So we have the pink, the brownish gray, and the gray gray. We did sell a couple snakes. And we have a spider and a ghost. And that's it, guys. Let me bring it way back. It's just looking kind of sparse. Gonna have to do some restocking on some things. I need to pull some of my big things from Knox, I think, though. So, yeah, we'll see what's going on. Okay, we're gonna do what we can for a hyperlapse of me turning down. I know that my phone is dying. I'm at 19%, so we'll see what we can do.
Okay, we're back. We're back. So now we're talking about the WQLN Craft Show. Now, WQLN is a local TV network in my area. It was also in Erie, Pennsylvania. This is an event that they host in an amusement park. It was like a ballroom or something once upon a time. But it's in the middle of an amusement park up there. And I'm pretty sure it was the first time that this show had come back since COVID. So it was a very good, return. So this was November 15th, 16th, and 17th. So that's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday was from 1 to 6 p.m. Saturday was from 10 to 5 p.m. And Sunday was from 10 to 3 p.m. The vendor fee for this one was $180, which is less for a 3-day event than the weekend before. I was okay with that. I was very happy about that, actually. But I did get a room for 2 nights up there. That is also something that I will probably not do this next year. It will save me a lot of money. Save me a lot of money on food as well. So let's go ahead and get into it, and I will tell you the things that sold. So to start off, I sold 13 tiny chickens for $10 a piece. Then I sold 3 snakes for $15 a piece. I sold 1 medium octo for $15. I sold 3 mini jellyfish for $12 each. I sold 3 mini mushy boys for $13 each. I sold 1 mini bee for $10, which is a free pattern of mine on Instagram if you want to check that out. It's no-so. Then I sold 7 possums for $15 each. I sold 4 axolotls for $20 each. I sold 4 triceratops for $15 each. I sold 3 T-Rexes for $15 each. I sold 3 dish scrubbies for $3 each. Those, again, are my friend Karen's that I sell for her. I sold 3 brontosauruses for $20 each. I sold 1 leggy froggy for $15. I sold 7 tiny turtles, my bad, for $10 each. I sold 7 mystery boxes for $15 each. I sold 6 mini loaf cats for $15. I sold 1 decent sized cow for $30, which I made at the event. I sold a hanging gnome towel of Karen's for $10. I sold one pom-pom keychain for $2. I got a special request while I was there to make a crocheted granny square like mini blanket in these fun rainbow colors. And it just a small security blanket. Sold it for $30. Made it while I was there. I sold Naruto, who I had had for a little while. I made him in August. Finally sold. He was huge and a huge pain in my ass. I dropped the price on him from $120 to $100 for a local vendor who was obsessed. So I sold him for $100. I sold 2 skunks for $20 each. I sold 2 mallard ducks for $15 each. I sold one of Maria's big dragons for the fundraiser for $60. I sold a big giraffe for $60, and this was like a very pale yellow and like baby blue accent giraffe with no spots. I don't know why I didn't put spots on him. It was a pattern test though. Sold it for $60 to the sweetest little old lady. Then I sold a strawberry cow snuggler for $30. That was another one that I made at the event and sold in the same day. And then I sold one stegosaurus for $15. So I did not break it up like how many items I sold per day on this one. What I did was, I don't really know what I did. I have some things written in black. I have some things written in red. What I do have is I sold a total of 82 items for $1,321. Plus, I got $12.19 in tips. So that ends up $1,333.19. Then my total fees, I had the hotel room for 2 nights for $235. I had the vendor fee of $180. For food, I had 6 different like sections. I didn't total that though. It's a lot. And then I had Square, which come out to $27.35 worth of fees. So total fees were $564.35. It's a good chunk. Kind of a lot. So take the fees out, we're down to $768.84 of profit, which I'm thrilled about for a weekend. I don't know about you. It breaks down to day 1, I only made $60 in sales. Day 2, I made $631 in sales. And day 3, I made $630 in sales. So that's super cool. You know, day 1 kind of sucked. They could do without the Friday. Make it a setup only day or something. But Saturday and Sunday were fantastic and equal, which was very strange to me. So I did put aside $30.06 for taxes. I did go to the yarn stores after.
So this is for you.
Oh, thank you.
And this is for me. And could you put it in my hair?
Yeah.
Yay. Ah.
Okay. Mom life. I did go to the yarn store after, and dropped about $230 in yarn. We're not going to get into that too much. My average sale broke down to about $16.11 at this event, so that's pretty cool. Then if you break it down to an hourly, what I have here is per day, like the duration of the event. Yeah, So I have setup, duration, tear down, no drive time. And I believe this is also based on the 1321, not on the 768. So 23 and a half hours breaks down to $56.21 an hour, which nothing to sneeze at. So I'm good with it. I'm happy with it. This is an event that I will definitely do again. And you know, as a mom, it's really nice to be able to have an excuse to get out of town for a weekend. So I'm okay with it. But so that was the WQLN Craft Show. We're gonna go ahead and break here. I'm gonna show you the clips for the next event, and then I will come back for the breakdown and leaving this video for you guys.
Look what I got today. You can't see. Maybe you can. Hope not. I got my new fire hook. Recently, I dropped my poor O-Fire, my 6mm, and it broke. The tip just broke right off. So I contacted O-Fire. They let me pick the color that I wanted to replace it. The Lucia hooks are still on pre-sale, or at this current moment, which is November, early November or something. And so the Lucia hooks are on a pre-order, and I could have gotten a new one, but Lottie sent me one of her Oofs Lucias, so I don't necessarily need another one. So I got one. Let me show you what it is. We're gonna try this. We're gonna open this. I love the packaging. It's so freaking cute. This, like, what is that? Iridescent. So here's the packaging. Oh, Fire Cove. We're gonna pop the top. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh my gosh, look it. This is their garnet hook, which is my mom's birthstone. My birthstone is ruby red for July. However, I really love the like iridescent glitter that goes into it, the swirls, as opposed to just it being clear with glitter throughout. So I really love this. Red is one of my favorite colors, but it's stunning. It's beautiful. Look at that. I know it's not like, oh my gosh. I love it. Thank you, O-Fire. I am so excited to use it, but I'm gonna get off because my kids are getting off the bus. Bye. Let's try not to look like a crackpot here, but I want to turn you around and show you where my market is today. It is November 23rd, I think. We're at this very cool winery and distillery. I am down there, but just, it's beautiful. It's rainy, but what can you do? I'm not a weather person. I can't control it. It's not too bad. It says it's supposed to be 44 degrees today, 10 to 15 mile per hour winds. Yay. And basically dreary and drizzly like all day. So that's not great, but we're gonna give it a go. We're here from 11 to 5 today. So once I'm all set up, I'll show you what it looks like. Let's do a hyperlapse of the setup. Yeah? Well, sweet. I made a sale. I had to quit recording because I had to use Square. Which, I need to replace this. It's not holding a charge and it's not disconnecting. So it keeps dying. Yay! It's so cute. I made another sale. I sold an axolotl. Yay. I get these fancy boxes for my mystery boxes. They come in a 100-pack on Amazon for like, I think you get 100 for $25. And I get the 4x4x4 boxes because my $10 stuff is all like 3 inches and under, but my $15 things will be 4.5 inches. But I just grab one of the items worth the price and then stick my card in here. You don't save anything at all. You're not getting extra freebies, nothing like that. You're just taking the choice away. I don't know why I'm like so hungry this morning. And I didn't eat breakfast, but alright, I'm finally all done setting up. I'm pretty sure it's close to noon at this point. I have made 3 sales. I think I've made my money back by $5. So we're gonna see. I'm gonna turn this off for a second. I'm gonna flip you around. I'm gonna show you my booth. Alright guys, it's starting to get a little more drizzly out here. But here's my setup on the outside, and we're going in. On this wall we have all the toys. We have Karen's shelf up here, Maria's dragons, snakes, mallards, axolotls, hedgehogs, cows, skunks, gators. Hi! Leggy froggies in 2 sizes, mini loaf cats, teddy bears, triceratops, stegos, T-Rex, long necks, mushrooms, and octos. Then we come over to the bookshelf. We have Karen's Christmas trees, Martha chickens, all the mannequins, dish scrubbies and pot holders, mini bees, mini turtles, Karen's ginormous dragon and kangaroo, mystery boxes, 2 tiny sharks and a teeny tiny loaf cat, possums, jellyfish, a beaver, a pig, Cinderella, and a turtle. Then we have adult hats, kids hats, baby hats, scarves and cowls, ear warmers, fingerless gloves, messy bun hats, hanging towels, oversized cowls, crop tops, and my sweaters. So here we are, guys. I will check in later. Hopefully it picks up because it's cold. It's lunchtime. Yummy, yummy, yummy. And I had some red pepper soup. Not stuffed peppers, but it was delicious. Okay, so it's 3 o'clock. I just got off of live on YouTube. Go back and watch the replay. I've made lots of sales, at least for a cold, rainy day. Some weirdos in the chat on YouTube, like, oh my god. But let me turn you around, show you where I'm at. I've sold some possums, and a turtle, and a bee, a dish scrubby, a Martha chicken, baby froggy, mini loaf cat, big froggy, 2 mallards, an axolotl, a skunk, and an earwormer, and a kid's hat, and a gnome towel. But I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna just walk around and see what's going on. Might as well. Window Depot. Okay, so at my market today, I did 1, 2, 3, and a half mini loaf cats. We're done. It's time to pack up. I will get you a breakdown later on in this. Okay, back, yay. This video is not sponsored by Red Bull. Should be though. Okay. Okay. So this is the Pimatuming Holiday Market in Jamestown, Pennsylvania. This was November 23rd from 11 until 4. The vendor fee for this was $30. It was at this very cool, like, bar, brewery, event center. I did spend money on food and candy and raffle tickets. But let's get into what's sold. So we started out with 3 possums for $15 a piece. Then 2 adult ear warmers for $10 each. 1 baby leggy froggy for $10. 1 dish scrubby for $4 of Karen's. 1 leggy froggy for $15. 1 axolotl for $20. 2 Martha chickens. No, 2 mama chickens. So these are big chickens.
So the two mama chickens, they're Karen's chickens. They were, they have eggs in them. So they're big, huge mama chickens with eggs that stuff inside. I sold 2 of them for $32.50 a piece. Then I sold 1 Martha chicken for $15, which is my own pattern on Instagram. Feel free to go check it out. Then 1 bee keychain for $12. And this is a bee pattern also by me on my Instagram, free. Then 2 mallard ducks for $15 each. 1 kids beanie for $15. 1 mini bee for $10. 1 owl hat with long braids and little pom-poms of Karen's for $15. 1 turtle, tiny turtle for $10. 1 mini loaf cat for $15. 1 skunk for $20. And 1 hanging gnome towel of Karen's for $10. So we sold 22 items in total, which not terrible, you know, for a total of $331. And then we also got a tip totaling $5.88. So we made $336.88. 176 of that was card sales, 155 was cash. We set aside $10.56 for tax. Then we had $30 in a vendor fee, $20 in food, and $8.99 in square fees. So minus the total fees of $58.99, we had a total profit of $277.89. So this all breaks down to an average sale of $15.06. And if you break it down to an hourly wage, I believe that this is just setup, duration, and tear down, no drive time. It is a 10-hour day for $33.10 an hour. So it's also based off of the gross income of $331 and not. So the hourly wage is definitely based on the gross of $331 and not the $277 profit. So either way, for a one-day event, it wasn't terrible. You know, I stuck it out. I made more than what I left with. Getting $277 in profit on, like, in one day, not super far from my house, is pretty great, I think. It's not something that I would like to do all the time, but it's definitely a great, you know, filler amount. But this event, it was cold outside. It was very cold, and I forgot to charge my electric coat, so it wasn't as warm as it should have been. We were outside. It was like a very steady drizzle all day long. And there were 4 vendors outside, maybe 5. The rest of them were like scattered throughout this venue. It wasn't a well-attended thing either. If people were there, they were eating inside at the, like, dining inside. But it wasn't terrible. It was very pretty. But I would say, so they wanted me to set up my canopy. They have these weird boxes made out of like wooden beams outside, kind of like a courtyard that's sectioned off. And they're like, I need you to set up your tent inside this section in a way that allows room for another vendor to set up in here. There wasn't enough space for that. I had my 10 by 10 canopy. The thing, it was like an L. So it was like this, and then went back like this. So, and the entrance was like right here. So there was barely enough room for the 10 by 10 this way to where I would have blocked the entrance in, and there would have been like a foot to walk between my tent and the fencing to get to another vendor. And the other vendor, like that little piece that sticks back here, wasn't 10 foot wide. So they weren't going to be able to fit into that. So there just was not enough space. So I ended up, you saw in the video that like where I put my canopy. And it worked out because there wasn't another vendor trying to set up in there. So at least there's that. When I got there, they were trying to tell me that I was going to set up inside, which that's something that you have to tell your vendors if they're going to be inside or outside, because if I'm paying for a 10 by 10 space, then I'm setting up my canopy with my grid walls. I don't use a table. So if you want me to set up inside, I need to know that I'm set up inside so that I can either plan to use your table, which better be a 6 or 8 foot rectangular table or it's not going to work, or I need to bring my own table. But I don't bring one unless I'm told that I need one. Yeah, so they were trying to stick me in this little room underneath of everything that was not well attended at all. They were trying to make me use their little bistro, like round tables, which might have been a diameter of like 4 foot. It was not going to work. There was no possibility in this universe that was going to work. So I told her, I was like, this is not going to work for me. Like, I have my canopy. I need to be outside. She's like, are you sure? It's raining. I'm like, yeah. And I got more people being outside right by the stairs than I would have in that little room anyways. So it worked out in the end. But, you know, don't be afraid to kind of, you know, speak your mind and say what you need at an event when organizers try to spring things on you. It's unreasonable to expect you to make uncommon or unconventional setups work, because either they don't know any better or they just think, oh, well, I've already been paid. You know, I'm just providing them space. Like, that's not going to work. I was just at an event here last weekend, actually, where I got there and they were trying to give me one of those, like, horseshoe tables. I was like, I'm really sorry, but this is not going to function for me. Like, oh, well, I thought it was kind of punny because, you know, Cat's Crafty Corner. I'm like, oh, but it's still not gonna work. It's just not. And I didn't bring a table, so like I need you to give me a table. And thankfully they had other vendors cancel. So there were tables available, but they ended up putting me at a 6 foot table. So it was very, very cramped. Made it work, but yeah, either way.
There's only a few of us vendors set up today, but this is what we got going on. There's a bunch of inflatables, there's a playground, we're here noon till 10, and there will be a Christmas light display this evening. Got a hot chocolate bar, some fires. So let's see what we can do. This is my setup for today. So of course I have the oversized fringe cowls. Hopefully I can move some hats and fingerless gloves and stuff today. If anybody sees something that they might be interested in, please let me know. The kids' hats are $15 across the board. That's this row and this row. And then the adult hats with pom-poms are $30. No pom-poms are $25. Messy bun hats are $20. Fingerless gloves are $20. Adult ear warmers are $10. Kid ear warmers are $8. If you like hanging towels, the flower ones are $8 each, or 2 for $14. And the gnome ones are $10 each, or 2 for $18. The oversized fringe cowls are 40 each. The crop tops are all 40 each. I know we're a little out of season, but you know, might as well bring them. We have a giant kangaroo and a dragon, jellyfish, teddy bears, mystery boxes. These are all things I need to put on keychains. This is the keychains I have. Stack of bumblebees. Here's my Christmas shelf. Got a beaver and a pig. My mannequin heads I get from Amazon. They're not all that expensive. We have tiny turtles, chicken hot pads, dish scrubbies, lots of axolotls, Michaela's hedgehog, a mini cow, a little spider and a ghost, purse, bandanas, hoods, fuzzy cowls, Maria's dragons, possums. I only have 3 Martha chickens left, so I guess I gotta restock those. I restocked mini loaf cats this week. Maybe went a little wild. Got lots of mini mushy boys. I added 2 new ducks, mallards, and I need to add another skunk. I was in the middle of it, but I ran out of black. I have some snakes and gators, baby leggy froggies, regular leggy froggies, octos, dinos. I need to restock all of the dinos and add more of the gators and boy color snakes. Then we have miscellaneous. We've got the peens and the pink chubby Godzilla and cake and ice cream. And then we have Karen's toys and Karen's purses and my sign. Let's get a good close-up here on my girl. I decided to, winterize her a little bit. I didn't bother putting arms on her, so whichever. Either way, it's only probably about 1. Hang on. Yeah, it's 12:42, so I will check in later. We have many hours to go.
Hey guys, okay, I'm back real quick. This is a surprise to us both. I was going through some of my footage and realized that there was one more event in November on, hang on,
Is that creepy?
I don't know, on November 30th from noon until 10 p.m. is when it was supposed to be. I hardly got any footage. I showed you my setup once I was done, and then that was it. I know that I had recorded, I walked around, but I did not,
It sounds creepy, Dad.
yes, that's creepy.
But I still want to watch it though.
I don't know what happened to that footage. It's gone. Honestly, it was a lot of just walking anyways. I don't know. This was a $40 vendor fee. It was supposed to be a light up night, so we were outside in December, or well, in almost December. So we had our 10 by 10s. There was supposed to be about 30 of us, but I think only about 10 of us showed up. And at dusk, the Christmas lights were supposed to be kicked on, and it'd be like a whole thing. Well, they had all the inflatables and the lights going all day. So there was no, ta-da moment. And it ended up being really, really, really cold that day. I think it was like 5 degrees or something like that. It was so cold. So hardly anybody came. That's why there weren't so many vendors, as they all backed out. So this was a really, really bad market day. Let's get into it. I sold 2 Triceratops for $15 a piece, 1 Christmas tree for $20, a kid's ear warmer for $8, a mini bee for $10, a shark keychain for $12, a mini loaf cat for $15, a tiny turtle for $10, and a flower hanging towel for $8. That's it. I sold 9 items. Yeah. Now this event was supposed to be a 10-hour event. However, I was the last vendor standing by 6:30. So at 6:30 I packed up and was gone by 7:30. So in 7.5 hours I sold 9 items. I made $113 in sales. I got $7.15 in tips, and my total fees were $20 for food, $40 for the vendor fee, and $3.24 in Square. So that comes down to a profit of $56.91. It's really bad. Really bad. I had $58 in card sales, $55 in cash sales. So I put aside $3.48 in taxes. And I didn't even do the math on this to see what my like hourly wage or my average sale was. So my average sale was $12.56. Let's see, so I got there at 10. I'm recording, Rowan.
Hello.
1 hour for drive time there, 2 hours for setup, 7 hours first event, an hour for teardown, an hour for drive home. So 12 hours of work for $9.42 an hour. Not worth it.
I don't understand.
Definitely not worth it with this event. So, but I wanted to throw it in there with you guys. You know, with this event included, it gives you all of the numbers for November, and I'm gonna go ahead and stop here and give you the next part and then close out the video. So this is the market breakdown video for the month of November. So we're gonna go ahead and bring up the calculator because, oh wait, I don't need to bring up the calculator. I need to bring up my other notes section. We're gonna do 2020. So we're gonna look at our complete net sales per month report of 2024. So for the month of November, I did profit $18.96 in pattern sales on Ravelry, which I know is not a lot. Then $36.41 in pattern sales on Etsy. In the 2 store locations that I'm in, I brought in $84.50 in profit. And then for the total profit of those 3 markets in November, I made $1,552. And then also in stitch marker sales in November, I made $157.33. So November's total profit amount was $1,849.20, which was up just like every other month in 2024 compared to 2020. In November of the previous year, I only brought in $757 in sales. So I more than doubled for the month of November. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you got a lot of pattern, inspiration, I guess. I hope that if you have any questions, you will leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, please. Please. I know market day videos are like the #1 thing these days. This is what people really like watching on YouTube when it comes to crochet. So let me know what you're thinking. If you want me to, do things a little different in these market videos, let me know. Sometimes I do more clips like at the event with updates. Sometimes I do different things. If you're interested, I also go live at a lot of my events. So if you wanted to go and look back in my live playlist for the month of November, you'll see you can rewatch the live from that as well, from all 3 of them, I think. So just let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you were working on. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to my channel, guys, comment down below, and I will see you in the next one. Next video, we're going to work on December's market prep video, and then we're going to work on December's market month video. So we are trying to catch up. We are trying to do the things. We're getting there. We're getting there. But I will see you guys later. Bye.